Guys, okay, so I know I look absolutely horrible right now because I don't have any makeup on at all. And the reason is because I wanted to talk to you guys today about foundation application. A lot of you guys use your hands to put on your foundation, or you'll use a sponge, but you know, for me, I choose to use a brush, and a lot of people don't really realize that you can actually use foundation brushes and get a much better coverage than you can with your hands or with sponges. When you try to put on makeup with your hands, depending on what's on your hands, you know, whether it be you just got out of the shower and you still have, you know, your body wash on your hands, the high concentration of fragrances and the chemicals that are in that get into your makeup as you're putting it on your skin, and those things usually aren't really meant for your skin on your face. So I tend to not want to use my hands, and then when you come to, you know, the concept of using sponges, they can get really dirty really quickly, and you waste a lot of makeup because it absorbs more makeup than what you're actually putting on your face, so you're kind of wasting product. They can also become, like I said, very dirty really quickly because the bacteria starts to grow inside of them, you know, when the first time that you use them. So I have moved on to using foundation brushes because I feel like you get a much better flawless coverage than you do with the sponge or with your hands. And I also feel that it's a lot more hygienic because if you clean your brushes regularly, they'll last a lot longer. And you know, most sponges, I would say, if you're going to use a sponge to put on makeup, you should throw it away after the first application. You should never use it again. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the brushes and then show you how to actually put the foundation on. When I started using brushes for makeup, I started with this one by CoverGirl. It's just a flat top brush. I started using this one, and then I actually realized that this one was not dense enough. The bristles are kind of too long because they tend to move and spread out. They're not so densely packed that they don't move around. So as you're applying, you got a huge area of coverage, but I just didn't feel like it was doing the best job because it would fan out like that. I wanted something that's more dense. So then I moved on to this brush that Coastal Scents offers in one of their limited edition 3-packs. And it's, I guess you would consider this a paddle brush. It's flat on both sides. This one worked for a little while because of the fact that it was flat on the sides, though. So I would have to use it like this, and you couldn't, like when you went to swirl it, you didn't have enough coverage. If you could see, the tip is domed. It's domed at the top. So I really didn't have enough coverage to blend well. So then I found this brush, the one I always use now, and this is my absolute favorite, my go-to. This is another brush by Coastal Scents. They just offered it. I apologize that it's dirty. It's a synthetic buffer brush. This sells for $13.95, which is still cheaper than any of the MAC foundation brushes, which sell for at least $30 to $35. This is very, very similar to the fiber optic brushes that I always use for my blush, in the fact that the bristles at the bottom are dense, and then you've got these little wispy ones at the top, right where that color band stops. The wispy ones are what is used for the blending. It's flat like the original CoverGirl brush, so I get, you know, I'm able to actually blend like I was not able to do with this one. So this is the brush that I always use, and so I want to show you how to do a foundation application using this brush. And I started off using a couple of different foundations. I prefer using liquid foundation only because all of the mineral foundations that I've ever used that were powder wear off by the end of the day. They don't give me good coverage. As you can see, I've got some blemishes and some imperfections, different skin colors right here around my mouth, and I need something that's going to keep that all day long. So what I do tend to use most of the time is Almay Smart Shade, because it starts out white and blends in with your skin color. I really like that one. And so I use that or the Maybelline Dream Mousse Liquid that I did a review on not too long ago. I really like this one because of the pump dispensing. I feel like with this kind, if I have to squeeze it myself, I always squeeze out too much and things like that. So I'm going to show you how to do it with the Dream Matte Mousse today, because this is usually what I use, the Dream Liquid. So what I do, first and foremost, because I need my makeup to stay on all day, I use a face primer. This is the only way I have ever been able to get makeup to stay on all day long. The one I'm using is by Laura Geller. It's called Spackle, And it's just a blend of like vitamin E and some other things. So it has the dispenser pump. So first and foremost, I just apply a little bit of that, and it's just a really lightweight face primer. It just evens out the texturing in your skin tone. If you've got uneven texturing, it will even that out. Before I started using this, it didn't matter what makeup I used, it always seemed to wear off by the end of the day. It doesn't take a lot, so it's almost like a moisturizer. You can use it under a moisturizer or over a moisturizer or by itself. So today I'm just going to use it by itself. Okay, so I have on my primer. And then I'm going to take my Maybelline, and what I use is the side of my hand. I tend to use the top because, again, I have stuff on the palms of my hands, chemicals and things that I don't want to transfer over. So I usually just use the top of my hand and just dispense a small little bead like that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your flat top foundation brush, and you're just going to get a little bit on there. Just kind of spread it out on your hand. You get a tiny little bit on there. And then to avoid just automatically brushing it on and getting a high concentration in one area, you're going to just stipple it like this to get some coverage and then blend. And see, that flat top is perfect for coverage because it doesn't really take very long. Make sure you go all the way down into the neck area so that you don't get that line of makeup. And because these really soft bristles are there on the top, it will blend into your neckline just flawlessly. Make sure you get around your hairline as well because you don't want the line there. And just blend. And then I'm just going to take whatever's left on my hand. Same thing, just dot, stipple it on, and then blend it in. So I'm going to get a little bit more. Dot it on and blend. Down underneath. And it's so quick with this brush, it's just amazing how quick you can actually apply your foundation. I tend to go over the same area maybe more than once just to make sure that I've got enough coverage there. And it really doesn't take a lot. And for the other side, and normally I have my hair pulled back in a towel when I do this so that I don't get it all over my hair. Okay, so I'm just blending it in on the whole face. Into the hairline, down to the jawline, blending in with the neck. And then I'm going to just do the forehead with what's left on my hand. Again, just making sure you get it all up in the hairline there. You can go over your eyelids if you prefer, if you've got some discoloration there. And just down the nose. Alright, so that's it. That is our foundation. I think it took like 2-3 minutes to get all that on there. And of course next I'm going to do my concealer just to finish off the foundation, the total package. I just use a flat concealer brush. It's a really dense brush, which is good because you want to put color on top of the foundation that you just put down, not necessarily blending it, but just setting it on top and smoothing it out. And here lately I've also been using Revlon's new complexion concealer because you get 2 different colors. You get a dark one and a light one. So I'll take the darker color just on the flat part of this brush and just pat it underneath the eyes. Like if you rub it, you're just going to be blending it in with the other color of that foundation and you're not going to get any coverage. So just pat it on and then blend out just like the edges around the edge. Okay, I'm going to do the other side, pat that on. And then just blend out the bottom around the edges. And then I'm going to take this lighter shade here and just put it on the areas that I have breakouts. And see, you can't even really see the discoloration as much because of the foundation coverage that I have. And you can't really see those blemishes anymore as much either, but I'm just going to pat it on the areas that I know I have them. Just patting it. Again, don't rub it. And that's it. then you'll just, you know, any areas that you just want a little bit more coverage. And that's it. So that is your Flawless foundation application. Then of course next you would do your setting powder. So I hope that encourages you guys to try out using a type of a brush, whether it be this one from Coastal Scents that's $13.95 or any other flat, dense, you know, foundation brush. Try it out and see if you like that over using your sponges or your hands to apply. And see what you think. Thanks for watching.